That's what this mural is going to have, this four corners feel, sort of a Navajo overtone, and that feel. The beauty way is the theme. That's something specific to the Navajo people down there. It's called the beauty way. It's like a mantra, but they say it in their language in Dene, but in English it's called the beauty way. Beauty above me, beauty below me, beauty beside me, beauty all around me, walking beauty, you know. That's what this is to me, graffiti, street art. We're out here walking in beauty, beautifying everything that's dull and mundane to us. We're gonna beautify it up with graffiti, tattoos, street art, music, everything. So that's the theme of this wall too, the beauty way.
Like I caught a wave or something. Like I was just right at the right place at the right time. I feel like any time I don't give it everything that I have, I'm missing an opportunity, you know. And but anyway.
The amount that Denver has changed in the last 12 years is just insane. There used to be nothing on this street. I mean, it was residential, but there was no businesses. There was like the DNC down here like 8 years ago, maybe a little more. And it was just being able to see it just grow up. And there's just so many people down here all the time now. The people that are moving into it, it is the responsibility to get familiar with what's going on here. Like, just in the same way that this business has a relationship with the homeless population around here. Literally, people that are breaking up fights with other people, you know, because we have a long-standing relationship. I mean, there's a guy that lives in the back of this building who knows me by my first name because I've known him for 3 fucking years. As it is really important to like have a position, an ethical position, and live from that place in your heart. Like, either you care about people and how they live or you don't.
I wanted to talk about the evolution of the artwork, graffiti and street art, and how far it's come, and you know, my experience in it maybe a little bit. The evolution of the art form is taking it to where the artists can become their own business and paint murals everywhere and sell their merchandise and things like that full time if they're good enough and if they're desirable enough.
As I've been here in Denver, I automatically connected with like a big community of kindred spirits, you know what I mean? Like people that I connect more with than anybody I've ever, you know, in my life connected with, because we're on the same path, have the same goal, like we're coming from the same place, I feel like. But that's a unique thing that's going on, is not only the collaborations that happen with artists like here in Denver, and it's the underlying stuff, like the relationships that really are here between artists, and in the art community. That's just as much as I feel like has motivated me the past like 5 years, 4 years I've been here in Denver, like painting for Crush Walls. It's been all the relationships. Like I get inspired by where the work is from and the person, you know? A ton of great artists, but that's why they're great to me. And really that's the underlying theme in the community. Those relationships, they don't just exist between artists. They exist between the people that are in positions to be able to create opportunities for artists at a big level. And I feel like that's a big part of the growth of the community here and what's happening, you know?
Yeah, there's something special in Denver specifically. We have our own uniqueness. We have this huge graffiti and street art festival that's right here in Colorado. I'm sure every city does have something unique about it and everybody has something there, but here, on this wall in particular, we're identifying with some cultural background from this region and people that are actually here that are alive right now. The piece I'm painting is a portrait of Ruth Benally. She's 90-something years old. This was my choice to paint this image, just given free reign in this festival that we're painting in, Crush. That's one good thing about this festival. A really important thing about it is they allow you to paint what you want to paint. You know, it's artist choice. I feel that's important so that we as artists get to paint what's important to us, make it a segue, you know, to bring awareness to others, to our audience about what's important to us and what we've encountered in our life. This portrait is one of these times I'm being able to give the opportunity to express what's important to me, and meeting this woman and lives in Arizona, Ruth Benally. I mean, it's a great image for this wall that we're painting. It has a theme, but I'm also using it as a segue to bring awareness to her struggle, her situation.
Jonathan and I met at a party in Denver when I was part of a GLBT club 1,000 years ago in college, and I felt so uncomfortable at this party, and he had made a gold mask. It was a masquerade, and
This story is not.
I love this story. And I was on the patio just like chain smoking cigarettes, like waiting to go home, and he was trying to hit on somebody with this mask. Like I made this mask, and this person just was like, whatever. And I was like, I love your mask. Like, please let me have your mask. I had that until probably a few years ago. And since then, we've just grown to be really, really close friends and have collaborated like in the early stages of his career when he's making these sculptural boxes, and I didn't think anything of my ability that he would allow me to work on his work and see it up in high rises and what have you, and we eventually ended up working on a tarot card project together with his husband and myself called the Fountain Tarot, and it's kind of like been so good and so spiritually casual, like just somehow we found each other. Cosmic twins, it just fits together in the most magical ways. This is the first time that we're collaborating on a painting, a big painting where we both had like equal input on it. This is also the first time that we're both doing an outdoor mural. We've both done indoor murals and commissions. And he's got a show at the Denver Art Museum right now. It's kind of like a bunch of firsts. First on the mosaics, first on the outdoor, first on the street art. Not first on painting, but yeah. Oh, nighttime painting, yeah, like, what are we doing right now? We kind of chose this style because I'm really into geometric, math, process art. He's much more figurative, gestural, romantic. I couldn't do what he's doing, he couldn't do what I'm doing, so it just worked out in this wonderful way. Yeah, I mean, like, being that this is the first time we're collaborating in this particular way, like, we've had a few things that we're working out, but I know that the worst thing that I could possibly do is interrupt him when he's doing like something like this, because if I interrupt him, it'll go wrong. But if I let him do what he knows how to do, it'll be perfect, and vice versa. And now it's 12 or something years of friendship, you know, that's that kind of even. We stopped communicating on social media because we realized it's just like the worst way for us to communicate. We always get an argument on social media, so we're not allowed to communicate that way.
I ended up linking up with Ease One in like 2015, and he invited me on his wall, which was huge. He invited me to collaborate. The next year we got our first official wall, like our first big wall at Crush. It's always a conflicted kind of thing, you know, where you're grateful for the opportunity to like create the work at that scale and have it be viewed for Crush walls, because I feel that there's a lot of the people that support my work, they really support it for the right reason. That's also a unique thing that's happening here in Denver, I feel like, where there's a relationship with the art and the money that supports it.
I had never even thought about applying for Crush, and it's not really our genre. Yeah, I mean, there's like the same thing with the tarot deck. Like, we were so worried that you're going into territory that you have no familiarity with, and that the people who've been doing it for so long are like not gonna take you seriously, or you're just like not gonna know. So far, everybody we've met is just amazing, is complimenting. I think there's something really wonderful. I mean, us just doing something that we wanted to do just ends up being seemingly kind of a development on like what's possible in this genre, and we didn't really even know that. We're mostly just making a gift for the community that I still live in, and for our friend who owns this business, and we're gonna gold leaf this in real gold. Yeah, Jonathan's just decided that that's what he wanted for the love of the game, because he believes that much in what it is that he puts out. I think it's a bit lavish, but it's not my money, so maybe I'll tell him I'll split it with him now. I feel bad. I was thinking it already looks good, and he makes me feel bad I'm not as generous. I'm a dirty capitalist, is what they call me.
Yeah, I started when I was really young, drawing and painting, but I got into street art through this festival pretty much about 10 years ago, but I've only been in it 6 years this year. But you want to show off, you know, to your guys, like, look at this thing I did or whatever, you know. They'll know it when they see it. That's what you think when you're putting it up. Tags too, you know, when you put up tags, you're thinking about your boys are gonna see this, friends and your crew, or so you do it for each other. We're out here entertaining each other in life and all together, really. One of my friends, Robin Dredd, founded the festival 10 years ago, and it's still running. We're here getting paid doing this. That's where it's come. It's come from that, you know, from a long way from painting trains and illegal spots, being paid to paint it everywhere. And I think that's a good thing, I guess. As long as we're allowed to paint what we want, we should get paid by these large companies and corporate companies that want their walls decorated by us. We should get paid the large paychecks by them, but still have artist choice and be able to express what's important to us. I think that should be the idea, the goal. Get these large paychecks, but also maintain the right to keep that artist's freedom, not be censored. What's happened with Crush, what it is, and there's more than is being recognized in what's happening. It's a bigger thing than what it's seen as. I think it creates a situation, like it creates the conversation, like these conversations, and like there's an understanding of the value of the work, you know, and especially in like a public space, but that's something that's like becoming more and more understood by myself about my own work all the time. Really the extent of the impact or like the reach and like how it affects like the community around you, the value of all of our work at a collective level. That is a very powerful thing, and it's like a magnet that just draws people, you know. It isn't just because of the work, it's like the experience that people have there, which is a lot, I feel like, because of the interactions they have with where that work is coming from, you know. I did a magazine in college called Illiterate and met Noah because he had a company called Develop Clothing Company, and Noah owns Crema Coffee House, where we are at right now. I pre-designed all of this because that's what I do, graphic design mostly. There's all these things that like get filled in. Jonathan's basically just freehanding this now. We've been out here for 3 days straight, sun up to sundown, past sundown now, third day. You have to care about this, otherwise there's no amount of money that makes it actually worth it. And I was even saying this earlier, but same, there's no place I'd rather be. This is so special to me for so many different reasons. It's hard to imagine where it could go, but it can only just get more and more popular. I feel like just like tattooing did. Tattooing's ever popular, and now street art and graffiti's ever popular. So me, as an artist, I'm trying to excel in both areas, graffiti and street art. In both fields, graffiti artists are the toughest community to be accepted by and respected by. So if you gain their respect in that community, then you're really authentic, because they're the hardest critic and the toughest, you know, and there's some hazing to even be accepted in that scene. So to be accepted as a street artist, I don't even know if that's a thing, but graffiti artist, if a graffiti artist accepts a street artist, that's saying a lot, you know what I mean? There must be a great street artist. So I'm trying to be accepted by all of them, you know, I guess. But I'm not really trying to be accepted, but respected in both areas as an artist with equal amount of caliber. I don't really care about being accepted, but being respected as an artist in those areas, yeah. That's what drives me, you know. I'm driven by I paint for my peers. That's what it's all about. We try to impress each other. I do see a lot of positivity in the art form nowadays, and people helping each other out and pushing each other to excel and express themselves and, you know, outside of their comfort zones. I see that. So I see an evolution in the whole graffiti and street art culture altogether. I see a higher, you know, more intelligent behavior. Used to have like a stigmata, like gangs and things like that. And I see more intelligent, artsy, you know, thoughtful people doing graffiti and street art now, using it as a voice to bring awareness to what's important around them and what's happening in their world and their reality. It's come a long way. It's coming to a time now where it's a business, and we can, as artists, monetize it and, you know, do what we love.
Yeah, the love, man. And it's where that's where I feel like more and more with myself, where I see it going, is that it's the real impression it can have on someone, is opening a conversation that you would have with really telling them where it's coming from, you know, and then feeling that. And that personal connection at the work, it's like a bridge for that to happen. I've created something that allows for someone to walk up on me as a total stranger and see the best version of me, interact with me in that way. And that's I'm seeing more and more as like the real impact that it can have on people, an impression. And so that's my own understanding of my work, and I hope that is influential as well, to be understood beyond just me.
There's like a really kind of weird feeling there where it's like, preserve the community, know where you're going, and also enjoy it for like what it is, and don't want to turn it into a Starbucks-laden strip mall. Kind of boring. I don't like the homogenizing, and I think people have the right to live however it is that they want to, and that's like kind of the biggest conversation of all. It's just like a development on like what's possible in this genre, and we didn't really even know that. Being a gay man and a woman, quit expecting me to be some kind of way. I'm just kind of over that. Another wonderful part about the people that I've met here, like they're coming from places, and I've had conversations already with people that like I've never met people with those kinds of lives so far. You know, I'm humbled and yeah, an intent to spread love, an intent to spread inclusion, and that you realize that like maybe there's a bunch of things that you don't know because your life has been highly privileged. I've had to learn a lot of those things. And on the other hand, like I've experienced a bunch of stuff that's like, I understand things that a lot of people don't. But another wonderful part about people that I've met here, like they're coming from places, and I've had conversations already with people that like, I've never met people with those kinds of lives so far. You know, I'm humbled. And I just had this just incredible conversation in the artist lounge. It's just like, there's no posturing here. It's just feels really different than I was expecting, and it just makes me love this neighborhood even more.
I work in all sorts of mediums: tattoo art, drawing, illustration, painting, fine art, sculpture. But spray paint is the most gratifying. It's instant, you know, it's instant gratification.